It was just past 8 a.m. on a frosty December morning when Elijah, a homeless man in his late 40s, sat near the entrance of a coffee shop in downtown Chicago. His coat was thin, his fingers numb, and his stomach empty. He hadn't eaten a proper meal in 3 days, relying on scraps and the kindness of strangers who occasionally dropped coins into the faded paper cup by his side. He wasn't always like this. Years ago, Elijah had been a construction worker with a stable job, a modest apartment, and a few close friends. But life unraveled quickly. One accident at a job site left him with a back injury and months of unpaid medical bills. The injury led to job loss, then eviction, and soon, the streets became his only shelter. People passed him every day, some offering looks of pity, most ignoring him. But Elijah never let bitterness grow in his heart. He believed deeply in goodness, even if life hadn't shown him much of it lately. That day, as Elijah stood up to stretch his aching back, he noticed something out of place near the trash bin across the street. A small, black leather wallet lay there, untouched, as if someone had accidentally dropped it while throwing something away. He glanced around, people hurried by in thick coats and scarves, oblivious to the little object that could easily change his day. He picked it up cautiously. Inside were several credit cards, a driver's license, and a wad of $100 bills, at least $1,500. Elijah's hands trembled. For a moment, the weight of hunger, the bitter cold, and his desperate need almost made the decision for him. Just one bill could buy him a warm coat. Another could feed him for a week. No one would know. And yet, as he stared at the ID, he felt a pang of conscience. The man in the photo was older, with silver hair and kind eyes. Jonathan Whitmore, the ID read. Elijah blinked. The name sounded familiar. Wasn't Jonathan Whitmore one of the biggest real estate moguls in the city? Still, names and faces didn't matter. What mattered was doing the right thing. With his stomach growling, Elijah made his way to the police station, walking 11 blocks in worn-out shoes that barely held together. The receptionist looked surprised when he handed over the wallet. "Where did you find this?" she asked, eyeing his tattered clothes. "By the trash can near Pine Street," Elijah said quietly. "Figured the man might need it back." She nodded, almost skeptical. "You sure you don't want a reward? There's a lot of cash in here." He shook his head. "I just hope it finds its way back to him." The story could have ended there, with Elijah disappearing into the background once again. But fate had something extraordinary in store. Later that day, Jonathan Whitmore received a call from the police. When they returned the wallet, he was stunned to find everything intact. The cash, the cards, nothing missing. Even the old photo of his late wife, which he kept tucked behind his ID, was still there. That photo meant more to him than any amount of money. "Who returned this?" he asked the officer. "A homeless man. No name. Said he didn't want anything. Just wanted to do the right thing." Jonathan, a man used to boardrooms and billion-dollar deals, felt something stir in his heart. A mixture of guilt and awe. He knew people like Elijah existed. He'd seen them outside his office windows. But he had never paused, never really looked. He didn't sleep well that night. The next morning, he made a few calls, determined to find the man who had returned his wallet. It took 3 days, but eventually, he found a business owner who had seen Elijah regularly near the coffee shop on 9th Street. When Jonathan approached Elijah, dressed in a tailored overcoat with a driver waiting nearby, Elijah stood from the sidewalk, confused. "You returned my wallet," Jonathan said, offering a hand. Elijah nodded slowly. "Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure you got it back." Jonathan looked at him with quiet disbelief. "You could have taken the money. No one would have known." "But I would have known," Elijah replied. "And I wouldn't have been able to live with that." That moment changed both their lives. Jonathan invited Elijah to lunch, not just any lunch, but at the most upscale restaurant nearby. For the first time in years, Elijah sat in a warm place, sipping hot soup and talking about his life. He told Jonathan about his injury, how he'd lost everything, and how he still believed kindness mattered, even when the world didn't seem kind in return. Jonathan listened, truly listened, and by the end of their meal, he had made a decision. "Elijah," he said, "you gave me back something more valuable than money. You reminded me of integrity, of humility. And I can't let that go unrewarded." Within a week, Elijah was living in a small but furnished apartment paid for by Jonathan's foundation. He received new clothes, medical treatment for his back, and therapy to help him recover emotionally. But that wasn't all. Jonathan offered him a job. It wasn't charity, it was a real opportunity. Elijah became a part of the company's community outreach division, helping others like him find support and resources. Over time, he spoke at schools, shelters, and even corporate events, sharing his story, not as a cautionary tale, but as a testament to integrity. Within a year, Elijah wasn't just off the streets, he was thriving. He started a non-profit of his own, Second Chance Souls, aimed at giving homeless people not just food or shelter, but dignity. Thousands heard his story, and media outlets began picking it up. From pavement to purpose, one article called it. When asked why he returned that wallet, Elijah always smiled the same way and said, "Because I still believe the right thing is always worth doing. Even when nobody's watching." To everyone watching right now, ask yourself this. What would you have done in Elijah's place? One small act of honesty changed his entire life, and someone else's heart too. Sometimes, the purest hearts have the least to give, but what they offer can change the world. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to our channel Pure Kindness Stories, and share this with someone who still believes in goodness.